So in this video, I want to chat a bit about some of my recent creative projects over the last 4 to 6 months or so. So about the last month and a half. There's been a lot going on, but a lot of it, I don't have enough footage, to make its own dedicated video. So I wanted to kind of do a bit of a mashup of a few recent travels, also some cool photography projects I've been up to, and also revamping my photography portfolio. Now, I find these kinds of videos really interesting to watch, and I want to do more of this where I can kind of share a bit more of my day-to-day here on the channel. A lot of the videos that you see here are pretty polished works, and I want to try to record and share a bit more of the in-between moments. So this is me doing that. Let's start things off with a trip that I took with my girlfriend Jaden to Mexico City a few weeks ago. It's one of my favorite places to travel to, and it's a very fun city to photograph. I'm not necessarily a street photographer or someone who enjoys shooting people on the street too much, but I do love the architecture there, and I love all the trees and different shades of green that you can photograph. So I did a lot of that. I had an X106 on loan from Fujifilm. This is a camera that I've been wanting to mess around with, but I haven't had the chance until recently to really play around with it too much. And I have to say, having this small of a camera with a 40 megapixel sensor was a blast to walk around the city with. It's so small and compact that I could literally just throw it into my pocket. I also have a shoulder bag that the camera fits really nicely into that as well. And I just brought this thing around with me and shot a few cool photos, shot some video. Also, the video that you can get on the new iPhones nowadays, so impressive. I shot in ProRes log and I was able to grade all this footage afterwards. But yeah, I want to share some of that trip with you. So let's check it out. Now moving on to the next project. I have a physical portfolio that I purchased at the beginning of this year. I also printed quite a few of my favorite images over the years and made a physical portfolio. This is something I wanted to do for quite some time, and I felt that, especially with some of the meetings that were scheduled on the horizon, I wanted to have a physical book to share with some of my clients and also potential clients to share a little bit more of my work in a tactile form, and it's been received really well. This has been a worthwhile investment for me, and I'm really loving printing my work and seeing it in that form. If you guys don't print your work a lot, I highly suggest you do. It's a great way to not only see your work in a new way, but it also really helps when it comes to sequencing and putting image selects together. I find that the physical prints work a lot better than trying to do it on the computer. The book itself is 11 by 14, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. I'm going to do a dedicated video on this book at some point, I think, but I've been really stoked on the whole process and super happy with how the portfolio has turned out so far. So as you can see behind me, I am working on my photography portfolio currently, and that's something that's consumed the last several months or so, I would say. I bought this portfolio specifically to have in-person meetings with agencies and clients. I feel like it just goes a long way when your work is printed, and it just looks beautiful. It's been a really fun process to not only print my work, but also see it in person and kind of organize it and sequence it the way that I want. And the cool part about this portfolio is it's removable. So I can sort of tailor each portfolio meeting to the work that I think might resonate the best. And it's been working great. I have several hundred images just in these boxes right here that I sort of hold on to and put them into sleeves when I'm ready to share with a specific client or an agency. And whenever I do a shoot and there's maybe one or two images that I really love, I'll usually get those printed as well. I use 11 by 14 for the most part, as that's what this binder is made for. I had it custom made in London, and I'm super happy with it. The quality is amazing, and it's so fun to see all of my prints in person. So that's kind of what I'm doing this afternoon, just sort of organizing, sequencing, and getting my portfolio ready for hopefully a few meetings next week here in LA. Next, I want to chat about a few different photography projects that I shot over the last month or so. The first was a really fun 4-day shoot up in Washington for All Trails. All Trails is a frequent client of mine, and I love working with their team. We shot pretty much enough photos for the entire year for them in a span of 4 days, which was such a blast. I also got to shoot this in Washington, which I love working up there. It's where I'm from, and I don't get the chance to shoot up there too much, but when I do, it's always such a good time. We focused mainly on the Olympic Peninsula area of Washington. This is an area I know really well, especially from the start of my photography career. So it was a pretty cool full circle moment for me to be able to go back there and take some pictures for work. We shot in so many different weather conditions on this shoot. We had snow, we had rain, we had fog, we had sun, all in 4 very short days, which as a photographer is, the kind of shoot that you dream of, being able to shoot in multiple different conditions. And this is really what the client wanted. So I was really happy with some of the selects that we shot. I ended up shooting almost a terabyte of photos, which on the GFX isn't as many as it would be on a smaller full frame camera or crop sensor, but I was able to pick some of my favorites and I put those over on my website. If you guys want to go take a look at that. This was one of my favorite commercial shoots to date and exactly the direction I want to be heading with my lifestyle photography. So I was very happy with how everything turned out. A wonderful shoot. So to close this month out, the last project I wanted to talk about was a beautiful trip to Death Valley that I just took with my girlfriend Jaden. We camped for the night in her Land Cruiser, which was a blast. If you guys have watched this channel at all, you know that I used to have one of these, and I miss it dearly, but it's great that she has one so we can take it out on road trips and camp. It was a really windy night, if I'm being honest, but I got some incredible photos. Took the GFX along with the 100 to 200 mil. It's a zoom lens that Fujifilm makes, and it was a great companion for shooting some of the tighter landscape shots that I wanted to get in that area. Death Valley is one of those places that's really unique and also a very harsh environment, especially when you're camping or spending a lot of time outside there, which is really kind of all there is to do. It's a very rough and rugged place to spend time compared to a lot of the other places in California that you can visit. It's not necessarily for everyone. But if you have a strong sense of adventure and you enjoy being out in the elements, Death Valley is really beautiful and it feels very otherworldly. My favorite stop of this entire trip is when we went to a crater that I've been wanting to see for quite some time. This is a very far drive, about a 6-hour drive from LA, and it's 2 hours north of the national park. But I really wanted to see it, so we camped nearby and were able to walk around the crater at sunrise. Got some really cool shots, and it was a place that I've always wanted to go, so that was a blast to be able to see that. But overall, it's been a blast of a month. Looking through all these photos and footage that I've shot over the last month, it's pretty fun to compile all of this into a video and be able to share all that with you guys. It allows me to share more about projects that don't necessarily see the light of day otherwise. And even if I have just a few short clips and some photos to talk about something, it's really cool to be able to share a bit of the behind the scenes with you guys about how some of these shoots go down. If you guys have any questions about any of the projects that I mentioned, be happy to answer some of those down below. Thanks so much as always for watching. And before this video wraps up, I did want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, which is Squarespace, for sponsoring today's episode. You guys know by now Squarespace is a longtime supporter of this YouTube channel and my creative endeavors as a whole. Truly cannot thank them enough for their continued support. To me, they're just the simplest and easiest way to build any sort of creative website. Whether you're looking to display your work in the form of gallery pages or different project sections, to selling e-commerce products, even the ability to book appointments, Squarespace makes all of this extremely easy to lay out in a way that makes sense for you. And I find that using Squarespace's built-in tools for all this make it super simple and very straightforward. But if you guys want to check out Squarespace for yourself and build your own creative website, there'll be a link down in the description to receive 10% off your first website or domain purchase. Thanks so much to Squarespace as always for sponsoring this video. Thanks you guys for watching. See you in the next one.